There are over 10,000 cards in this game, but only 10 are the top 10 most popular. Can you believe that? I'm going to tell you why and what they are. Let's go.
There can only be one winner, and you're looking at it. Let's go.
How am I going to tell you the most popular cards? Well, we have objective rankings through the tier list, which is automated and it's loading. Thank you very much. And the top deck page. We're going to make sense of all this by clicking the little search icon. These are the top 10 cards and why they are the top 10. Starting with Knightmare Phoenix. Why is this a popular card? Why is this number 10? This is a generic Link 2. All you need is two different names, any kind of monsters. They could be Link monsters or non-Link monsters. You put them together, you make this, it will pop a back row card. Very cool. Now, what decks are using this? A lot. You can see a lot of these decks are using it. 77% Drytron. It's a generic card. Should you craft it if your deck uses it? Sure. Otherwise, you could check out the decks that are using it. Let's move on to number 9. Another horsey. This is the number 9 most popular card. Knightmare Unicorn. Again, a generic card. This time it's a Link 3. So it either requires 1, 2, 3 monsters to make it, or you could use a Link 2 monster, which was the number 10 monster, the top 10 most popular, plus another monster. So a Link 2 plus 1 or 3 monsters. And instead of just being able to destroy the back row, this could deal with anything. This can return a card in the field, back row or monster, back in the deck. Now, this extends into even bigger monsters, and there's also combos with this. This combos up incredibly well with a card called Masquerena. If you see Masquerena on the field, it is kind of a generic card. You could put this in any deck that has 2 non-Link monsters. You make this, and then on your opponent's turn, you will, only during your opponent's main phase, you could activate her effect to use herself and another monster to make Knightmare Unicorn. So on your opponent's turn, this is where the Knightmare Unicorn is going to be activating. If you are the one controlling Knightmare Unicorn, it's a disruption on your opponent's turn. That's one big thing with Knightmare Unicorn. Another big thing is the Accesscode Talker. We'll talk more about this because it's really popular. Accesscode Talker, the bigger link you use to summon Accesscode Talker, the bigger Accesscode Talker becomes. So people naturally, they climb up the link ladder. They make a Knightmare Unicorn, which is Link 3. Then with just Unicorn and another monster, that becomes a Link 4 to make the Accesscode Talker to make it 5,300 attack. So these are the decks that are using Knightmare Unicorn. And just understand, when you see Masquerena, you know that the Knightmare Unicorn's coming. It does target. It will return a card you control back into the deck. Here are all the decks using it. You could also highlight here to see the decks using it. Let's move on to number 8. Number 8 is Forbidden Droplet. You have seen the memes. You have seen the hate for Drytron. Well, why do we hate Drytron? Because they have a card that just negates everything. Ultimateness will negate pretty much everything. A special summon, a spell, a trap, a monster effect, negate, negate, negate. If we type in the word negate and we type in extra deck monster, we will have a good list of cards that negate. Apollo will negate you, the Borreload will negate you, the Draco will negate you, everything negates you. But you know what negates the negators? Forbidden Droplet. This card can't be negated if you use it properly. You'll send any number of cards from your hand or field to the graveyard as a quick effect to negate the negators, and they can't respond with their monster if you sent at least a monster. So a really good combo with this is, because it's a quick effect, you could activate a normal spell like Pot of Desires. If you activate Pot of Desires to draw 2 cards from your deck, if you chain link to your Forbidden Droplet, you could send the Pot of Desires as part of the cost, plus a monster in your hand or on the field, and now you're negating 2 cards in the field and they can't chain. No chain. Negate the negators, also half their attack. That is insane. So that's why Droplet is good, because it lets you play the game. Number 7, Pot of, not a pot, it's an Infinite Impermanence. What the pot? I'm thinking about pots. Why is this card top 7? This card is nuts, but traps are bad, right? This is not really a trap. It is a hand trap. You could use it from your hand. If you control no cards on the field, then you can activate this during your opponent's turn. But if you are new to the game and you don't know what to negate, you don't know what part of their combo to negate, then save it for your turn. Just don't use it. Just wait. If you wait until your turn, then you activate on your turn. Similar to Droplet, you're basically using it like a Droplet with no cost. So again, anything that negates that's from the extra deck, you will be able to negate a negator. And that's going to be like Apollo, Borreload, and Draco. That's going to be a good way to use it. But another good way to use it is, do you hate skill drain? I hate skill drain. So what you're going to do is when you see a skill drain, you are going to be screwed because you can't use infinite impermanence if there's a face-up skill drain on the field. But if there's a card like Imperial Order, you're screwed. Imperial Order, which is negating your spells, set your infinite imperm in the same column as the Imperial Order. Then when you flip up the infinite impermanence from your back row, it will negate the Imperial Order in the same column just for that turn, so then you could use spells. So it's kind of anti-back row, a little bit harder to set up. Otherwise, you'll use it on your turn, and you have to use it right away because you can't control any cards. And that's great. Now, well, I just mentioned skill drain, you're screwed. I will... hidden card. Dino Wrestler, Pinkatrops, you could use this in any deck. It deals with skill drain, so you could use this. If you hate Imperial Order, you hate skill drain, put this in any deck. You could summon this, you could destroy the skill drain, you could destroy the Imperial Order, and you're good, all right? But that's not a popular card, it's a hidden gem. Now, number 6, Apollousa. This card is very popular because it negates a monster effect more than once per turn. In one of the most popular decks, which is Zodiac Tri-Brigade, they could easily make this turn 1. Adamantipator could easily make this turn 1. Lyrilust Tri-Brigade, they could easily make it. Phantom Knights, they could easily make it. And per monster you use, as it's a link 4, it gains 800 attack and it gains that many negates. But it is once per chain. It is more than once per turn, though. Negate the Nibiru, negate your monster effect, negate another one, but hopefully it gets small enough where you can just attack over it so it doesn't keep negating you. But then it essentially negates your battle phase. If you're forced to attack over it, then use your monster effects main phase too. Similar to the Knightmare Phoenix, sometimes, rarely, you might see the Masquerena go into a Knightmare Phoenix or go into an Apollo during your turn, but that's why this card is very good, and do consider using it in any deck. Again, you don't need 4 monsters. You can make a link 2, then use 2 other monsters plus link 2. You could use a link 3 plus 1 other monster, but then you only have 2 negates. That's why this card's so good, though. It is multiple negates in one turn. Number 5, Zeus. There is no Zeus deck type. This could be used in any deck that summons Exceeds. So if you have an Exceed deck type, let's look up the most popular Exceeds. If you battle with any of these Exceeds, if you just battle with them, then you're good. You get to make your Zeus. Now, this says that if an Exceed monster battled this turn, you don't even need the Exceed itself that battled to make Zeus. You could battle with a very good Exceed, then make another Exceed monster, and then use Zeus to summon on top of that. That's what how Zeus is summoned. You put Zeus on top of an Exceed after you battled with an Exceed monster. And what this card does is you'll detach 2 materials from this card to send all other cards in the field to the graveyard. It's a quick effect. It could be used more than once per turn. So why is that relevant? If normally when you summon an Exceed monster with 2 materials, if you were to summon Zeus on top of it, you have 3 materials. It's kind of crap. But if you detach 1 for the Exceed effect, then you summon a Zeus, then you're good. You could still use your Exceed, plus summon a Zeus, plus wipe the field. But a combo with the Zeus is you could use Downward Magician. Downward Magician, if you have a rank 3 Exceed, you could just put this on top of it. So then you have 2 materials plus the rank 3 Exceed plus the Downward Magician, that's 4. Then you make a Zeus. And if your opponent tries to negate your Zeus, let's say you activate Zeus and then they use Imperm to negate it, you could chain link 3 to use Zeus again to wipe the field twice. So it gets around a negate, otherwise you'll have double wipe. But the best way to probably summon Zeus right now is going to be the Zoo cards. Even though it's a generic card, the Zoo cards are very easy to summon. They're not real Exceeds. You just plop them on top of each other, you stack them high, then you summon a Zeus after battling, attack directly with the Borbo, and then you get to wipe the entire field. This card could be used in any deck with Exceeds. They love it. This is the usage ratios. Now, let's go on to number 4. Accesscode Talker, another quite generic extra deck monster. What is the purpose of this card? To end the game. You don't summon this turn 1. You only summon this generally when you can attack or there are cards on the field to destroy, because this does everything. You are normally going to use the Knightmare Phoenix, which is the 9th most popular card, to then climb up into the Accesscode Talker, because on summon, Accesscode Talker will target the link monster you use to summon it, and then it will gain that attack equal to the link times 1,000. So link 3 equals plus 3,000, which makes it 5,300. And what's really good about this card is it crushes noobs. You have to know how to toggle on to beat Accesscode Talker. If you have an Imperm, you can't use it with your toggle on auto. And then what's going to happen is you can't chain to the Accesscode Talker activating any of its effects. So that means already on summon, it can't get torrential tributed. So if you're playing against Eldritch, you could summon Accesscode Talker knowing that you're not going to get torrential tributed because they can't chain to it. Now, if you use a bunch of trigger effects to summon the Accesscode Talker, always activate Accesscode Talker on the last chain link, the last thing you activate, because if you chain link one Accesscode Talker, then chain link to the card you used to summon it, then they could chain to the summon of your Accesscode Talker now. They could wipe your field with torrential. Not good. Now, the toggle on thing, hopefully you're not confused. If you want to use Imperm, and a lot of people, they don't understand this. You have to toggle on, and then on the resolution of Accesscode Talker gaining attack, then you will be asked to use your Impermanence to negate. And this is anything that negates. You just can't chain to the negate. This is a generic negate. So with toggle on, you can counter this card, but why do you want to counter it right after it gains attack? Because then it could banish link monsters from the graveyard to destroy your entire field. One by one, pop, pop, pop. You can't chain to the pop, so you must negate before they get popping. Same thing with Effect Veiler. Effect Veiler can be used against the Accesscode Talker. You need toggle on to do it though. I think they'll change it where toggle auto will work, but right now it doesn't. So you need toggle on to negate Accesscode Talker after it gains the attack. It's generic, it wins games, it's nuts, it's used in a lot of top decks. Let's move on to the next most popular card. Number 3, Called by the Grave. Called by the Grave. If you don't know much about Yu-Gi-Oh, then if anything is activating and that card is now in the graveyard, or it's activating from the grave and it's still in the grave, activate this. It will banish the card from the graveyard. It will not only negate the effect that is activating, it will also be preventing that card from activating as a monster, that is, because if you were to banish a pendulum, but don't worry about that, for the next turn. So the entire turn, that card's negated, plus you negated that card, and the next turn, it's also negated. Why is this good? Holy moly. Practical use against top tier decks or popular decks would be Zodiac Tri-Brigade. We have Phantom Knights you could do it against. You could use it against an Eldritch deck. If you want to use it, I love it using against Eldritch. Eldritch will activate in the graveyard to summon onto the field. Call by the Grave, banish it. That counters the deck so hard. If more people play Call by the Grave, then Eldritch is in trouble. Eldritch will not be summoned. Also, Eldritch has another effect where, while in the hand, it could discard itself plus another card to destroy a card in the field. Chain Call by the Grave. Then it banishes the Eldritch. And what's hilarious is if you use Call by the Grave on your turn to banish their Eldritch, I promise you, they're going to forget that the Eldritch is still negated. They're going to activate Eldritch from the hand or another one in the grave, but it's going to be negated. And they're going to have to pay a cost to do it. I promise you they do it. Also, against Sky Strikers, they hate this. If you use the Call by the Grave on the Ray in the graveyard, they're screwed. Either when she's activating, but not in the damage step. You have to use it before the damage step. You could banish her, and then her effects are negated. I banished a Ray on my turn before attacking into their monster. Then next turn, they normal summoned a Ray. They activated Ray by tributing to summon a monster from the extra deck. It was negated still. The new Ray was negated. They forget. They're fools. But most importantly, because these are maybe two specific examples, it negates the most popular cards. Spoiler alert, Ash Blossom, Maxi, any hand traps, if they activate them against you, you activate Call by the Grave, it will negate. And another popular card, if you hate Drytron, the Drytron, a lot of their card effects activate in the graveyard. A lot of them. The Ben 10 activates in the graveyard, the Drytrons activate in the graveyard. Call by the Grave, you need it. You need it, straight up, craft it. It is good on the offense to stop a hand trap that's stopping you from making plays. It also stops them from making plays. I can't think of a deck where this is not good against. So even against an anti-meta deck like Eldritch, this is great. Now, number 2, Maxi. I think Max C is the center of this game. It's the core of this game. It's only number 2 though. Why is it number 2 and not number 1? Because number 1 counters this card and the number 3 counters this card. It's all about countering this card because this card essentially says your opponent must end their turn or take the Max C challenge and lose. What is that? Every time your opponent special summons, you draw a card. And now, inherently just drawing cards, if they're going to attack for game, that doesn't matter, but they're afraid of the other cards you could draw. They are mostly going to stop their turn because if they can't 1-turn kill you, then you're going to 1-turn kill them next turn. They're afraid of you drawing Nibiru. Mostly. Because this will tribute their entire field. Not a top 10 most popular card, but the fear of Nibiru is generally why they're going to stop. And also just drawing into other hand traps like Ash Blossom could probably stop their combo that's going to 1-turn kill you. Max C, you need it and you need to stop it. It is not in a secret pack. A lot of people in the TCG, they're afraid of this card. If you want to scare a TCG player, just show them Max C and they'll run away. Guaranteed. In TCG, this card's banned, and they heavily defend why it's banned. They're like, it's broken, it ends the turn, it's a joke, I can't believe it's in Master Duel. There's a lot of ways to counter it, but use it and know how to counter it. Number 1, Ash Blossom. This card comes in a bundle, which helps its popularity. Otherwise, Max C might be more popular. This card, if it's asking you to activate and it's not in response to your own card, you can activate it to negate. The thing about Max C is that it's going to bother you all the time. Generally, you might want to turn your toggle off on your own turn if you have no trigger effects or quick effects in your hand that you want to activate so that the Max C leaves you alone. She's not really going to bother you. She's perfect unless she wants to negate your own card. Do not negate your own card. If you don't know how this card works and your opponent activates a card and it says, would you like to ooh activate in the hand, senpai, please? Yes, just do it. But when you get better at the game, you're going to learn when to actually do it. So how do you know when to do it? Here, I'm going to give you a quick tip against Drytrons, because we all hate Drytrons and we hate Eldritch, okay? This stops them from adding a card, stops them from special summoning from the deck, stops them from sending a card from the deck to the graveyard. Let's show you in the Master Duel Discord. I'm going to go into the Drytron channel. Drytron, hold on. And now that I'm in the Drytron channel, let me do this. In the pinned messages, when should you negate? Holy crap. When to Ash Blossom, just screenshot this, all right? Just, if you play against Drytrons, just know when to do it. So thank you, Sakura, for the when to negate. Very good. He is a top tier player, Sakura, or she, he, them. They're amazing. Thank you. And let's go back to the card. Ash Blossom. Get the bundle, get it. Get this card, even if you don't know how to use it, play 3. If your opponent Max Cs, you will negate. If your opponent tries to do anything, you will negate. That's the joke with this card. It pretty much negates all the good cards. And that's it for the top 10. What do you think that should have been brought up in this video? You let me know. I don't want to make this video too long. Shout out to Lightning Storm being very good, wiping out back row monsters. Shout out to Pot of Desires drawing 2. Shout out for Nibiru tributing the whole field. Shout out to the Almirage being usable in many decks. Shout out to a last card that's generic. Harpy Feather Duster, wipe out the back row. Shout out to, you look on the website yourself. Look at the popular cards. Twin Twister's good. Another good card. Pot of P. I love Pot of P. I love Monster Reborn. Not really. I like Pot of P. And that's it for the video. Let's go.